Hey everybody. Um, so I'm going to start off. First of all, this never gets less awkward every time making these videos. It is so awkward. And um, this is something that's been on my heart for the past week. Um, Something that I keep saying, Lord, I don't want to talk about that. And it is a really, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk about it. It's a real struggle to talk about. So this morning I called and I talked to my mom, and I was like, Mom, it's really been on my heart to talk about cancer. And I was like, what do you think about it? And we both were like, if we can help one person to feel better, then it's worth it. So hopefully I can get through this. Lordy mercy. Okay, first of all, Plexus is not FDA approved to say that it heals any medical conditions. So I'm going to go on and throw that out there. This is my personal story. This is my experience, and I'm going to talk about my mom's experience. So we'll just get that legal step out of the way. And for all the people out there who like to make posts about that, I mean, that's not a secret. So, moving past that. Okay. So, starting in 2015, my mom had been going to the doctor a whole lot, and she was being treated for kidney stones. And I'm going to try not to make this take an hour, so I'll try to make shorter versions of stuff. So in the process of that, she was extremely very sick, and she finally told this doctor, she said, something else is wrong. It's not just that. And long story short, they found a tumor on her ovaries, and she ultimately was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And when she called me to tell me her diagnosis, this is stupid. I don't know if I can do this. That was one of the worst days of my life. I was absolutely terrified that I think in that moment I was more terrified that she wouldn't fight than anything else, because she had lost her mom to cancer and her dad, and she had been there with them through their battle. And I mean, that's the worst thing that she had ever been through in her life. So when I finally, after a few hours, pulled myself together, I went to go see her. And when I went to see her, she was fine. She was like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna take it one step at a time. And she was gonna fight it. So she wasn't giving up. She wasn't, she was she took it a lot better than I did. I'll just put it that way. So, in 2015, she had surgery, and, she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer, because it wasn't in just one place. So, if anybody knows anything about cancer, stage 4 it's horrible. It's the worst. So, her surgery took forever. I mean, it took like hours past what they had projected that it would take. And when we finally got to go back to see her, Sarah and I went back there, and Philip, and she was laying there with her eyes closed, and we walked over, real quiet over to her, and I mean, we had been worried sick, like you can imagine. And I think Sarah put her hand on Mom's hand, and Mom's eyes flew open, and she yelled, "Lord, take me now, Jesus." And we all looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like nobody could brace themselves for that moment. And we all just looked at each other without any words. And she starts laughing hysterically. So I will never forget that. I could absolutely kill her. So if you know my mom, you can picture it in your mind right now. And if you don't know her, then that helps you to know her a whole lot better. So that says a lot. So from that moment on, she started chemo. She had to have, I think it was 20 treatments, one per week. And then eventually she went into remission. The chemo was, horrible. She lost her hair. She was really sick. And she went into remission. And then, I don't know exactly the years, but over from 2015 to now, she's had a recurrence. She had to have more chemo. And right now, she's on a PARP inhibitor pill. Okay? So, I'm going to skip back to what was going on with me during this time, too. So, while she was going through her chemo, I was having a lot of health problems. And it was pretty scary. And ultimately, after they tried several different things, I had to have a hysterectomy. So, we did the genetic testing, and my mom doesn't have the gene that's passed on, thankfully. But for me, it was a no-brainer to have them take my ovaries. So I had a complete hysterectomy. That was in 2016. Then, in 2018, I started having health issues again. So I went for a colonoscopy, and they found something. So my doctor, he was really concerned and decided that I would most likely need to have surgery. But he had been in practice so long that had decided that he was no longer doing surgeries. So he sent me to somebody else there in the building, and she wanted to do her own colonoscopy. So long story short, I ended up having I think 4, maybe even 5 colonoscopies within a few months, which if you've ever had a colonoscopy, it's not fun at all, the process of leading up to it. And they could not get a good biopsy. They had differing opinions on what they thought that it was. The male doctor thought that it was a tumor, and possibly cancerous, and the female doctor thought that it was most likely fatty tissue. But they could not get a good biopsy of it because it was so hard. And it was like a marble. It was in the middle of my colon. It was in one of the worst possible places that it could be in. And so while all that was going on, that's when my depression started. So it was just like I completely flipped a switch and was like, I'm checking out. Like, I'm one of those people, like, faith the size of a mustard seed. Thank God that's enough for him. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I chose to just, like, totally shut down and not think about it. Like, all that I could think about was, I can't believe that I'm having to put my mom through this, because she was a basket case. I mean, an absolute basket case. Worried sick. And I'm like, she's already been through enough. I can't believe she's having to go through this too. So, we scheduled the surgery, and they had planned to take out a section of my colon because they would have to get around the parameters of the tumor, as well as the tumor. And I was going to be in the hospital for 4 to 5 days. So anybody who knows anything about surgeries these days, they don't keep you in the hospital for anything. So that's when I knew, like, how serious this was, and how scary it was. But I mean, like I said, I really had just kind of just, like, checked out emotionally. Now, thank God, I only had to stay in the hospital 1 day, because when they went in for surgery, they removed it. It was a tumor, but it was not cancerous. They did a biopsy right then, and so then they were able just to, like, scoop out a portion of my intestine and sew it back together, like, sew that piece together. They didn't have to take out a whole section of it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But it was so much less invasive. So, praise God for all of that. Okay, so now jumping back to my mom. So, like, that is when I really just really got depressed. Like, eventually I went to the doctor and got on medication. I'd always been on anxiety medicine, but I had gotten to the point, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this, because really it's embarrassing, but if it helps somebody, then it's worth it. But, like, I wasn't even brushing my teeth at night or washing my face. When I would get up in the morning, I would pull myself together and go on about my day and, fake it till you make it. But, I mean, it was really serious stuff, you all. And every single day, when I woke up, I was absolutely exhausted every day. And then my mom came to a point when she started this PARP inhibitor that she was ready to give up. So she called me and my sister over, and it was making her so sick. It was making her more sick than the chemo was. And she was like, I can't do it. I just can't do this anymore. And that was, like, it was so horrible. But I looked at her and I was like, Mom, you don't have to do it. And she was like, well, if I don't work, then I'm gonna die. And I said, well, there's worse things than dying. And, like, she had no quality of life. She was sick every day. She was exhausted. So when she wasn't sick, she was asleep. Thankfully, I told her, I was like, please just talk to your doctor, because she said, that you have other options. This is not it. And at that point, she didn't even want to talk to her doctor. But a couple of days later, she did. And she was able to take the lowest dose of this PARP inhibitor for this study and be okay. But she was still sleeping, you know, at least 3 naps a day. And just no energy to do anything, or really no, I guess, desire. And I mean, it's super frustrating when you want to do things and you can't physically, like, just because you're physically exhausted. So, in April, I was like, I don't even know what caused me to think of it or to realize it. I don't know if I had seen a post that maybe Tiffany Weaver had made. I don't know. But we worked together. And she knew a lot of what I had been going through over the years, because we did work together. Because she is a therapist with Pathways, a mental health professional. And so I called her and I was like, you know, just sign me up. I don't care. I don't even care what it costs. Excuse me. I'll make it work. I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm just hoping that this is going to be the answer, because I was in the worst place of my life in every aspect, like mentally. My weight had never been as much, and whenever I ordered, you know, she told me, if you refer 3 people, if you can find 3 people that want to do this with you, then you're going to get over $300, and that will help pay for your products. And I was like, okay, you know, that's what I'm going to do. So I actually enrolled my mom. I called her and I asked her for her information, and she didn't even ask me any questions about why. I was like, you know, I just need this. And I ordered her stuff too. And so we started together. We started on the triplex together. And the reason that I'm telling this story is because it has been absolutely life-changing for the both of us. I am completely off my heartburn medication, and I'm completely I weaned off of my anxiety and depression medicine. Every day has not been easy. I've been really irritable. I think I'm doing better now. I started taking actually Vital Biome to help with that. But, you know, that's a process too. That's what I told my husband. I was like, you know, I believe in these products, so just let's stick with me on it. I'm trying to do better, and everything takes time. So, I went to SeaWorld, and I cried when I saw the whales, the great, the orcas, the big orcas, killer whales. Because you know what? That's who I am. I always was a crier. I always cried about good things, happy things. Like if my kids hit the ball at a baseball game, I would tear up. And that's just who I am. And I'd lost that part of myself, and now I have it back again. So whenever people say that Plexus doesn't work, I'm like, you haven't given it time, because it is a process. And with my mom, we're taking the same thing, but we take a different dose. She still can't take the full dose of the triplex, but she's not having naps every day. Every now and then, she still needs a nap, and usually it's when she overdoes it because she feels so good. I don't even care about the weight. I swear I don't, but we both have lost inches. She's actually gone down sizes. Sorry, I have allergies really bad. And it has just been absolutely life-changing for us. We have both gotten joy back in our lives that we hadn't known for a long time, because we actually feel like when we wake up in the morning, we both feel good, we feel rested, we have energy, we have desire to do things. So mentally, it has been the greatest blessing for us that we absolutely did not expect whatsoever. And that's just my story and her story. The people that have joined with me, they have their own stories too, amazing stories. And that's why I wanted to share this, because if you are somebody, and I think though that for it to work for you, you have to be committed. You have to be at the point where you're tired of where you are, and you're going to do what it takes to get to change, to have that change in your life. And if you're still watching this, then maybe it is because you need that change. It's not like, I can't promise you miracles. I can't promise you how quickly things are going to happen for you, because everybody takes a different amount of time. My mom's detox was a whole lot rougher than mine, when it's cleansing your body and fleshing out those toxins. But I mean, I think it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And if you research gut health, you will see why it works. Okay? It's not band-aiding things. It's not covering them up. It's not suppressing your feelings and emotions. It's actually healing you and fixing those things. My mom, her hair on her arms had been gone since her chemo. Her hair is growing back on her arms. She has tons of new growth in her hair, which her hair did come back, but she's got new growth in her hair now. She called me the other day, and we have like curvy nails. My nails are, I just took off artificial nails, so you can't see, but her nails don't have the curves in them anymore. And that is, I need to do research on that, but that has something to do with a deficiency in something. So, I mean, just absolutely amazing things and amazing changes. And if this helps just one person, then it's worth talking about it. Even though this is completely and totally uncomfortable for me and extremely personal for me. So, I think that's it, and I think that's probably enough, because that is a really long video.